the drama kind of continued all the way up to the lights going out because the mixed conditions, as you mentioned, and this is an overall kind of talking point for me for the whole race, is that the conditions themselves really meant that the truly consistent drivers were the ones that succeeded because it's a really difficult technical track already. It's not very easy to overtake. Then we ended up with this really specific dry line after a lot of the rain. The start was, I mean, I don't even know how they can even see anything. When you see the onboards from the start of the race, it's incredible that they managed to keep it together at all. So both qualifying and the race really taxed all of the drivers, even the most experienced ones. I think pretty much everybody found their way onto the grass or the gravel at some point, even in the race. And it really sorted the men from the boys to some extent for me. Just going on to the pre-race as well, just tying into these sort of difficult conditions, we had Alonso hitting the wall on his way to the grid and he damaged his front wing. Vettel was pretty unlucky here. We'll talk a little bit more about Vettel in a bit, I'm sure, but he was also suffering before the race. Had some kind of brake-by-wire failure, I believe. He didn't have the tyres on before the start. They didn't have the tyres on 5 minutes before the start, but didn't get penalised until like lap 20-odd, which I don't understand at all.
Just after he'd come out the pit stop. So he'd just done his pit stop, came out, and then there was a notification saying 10 seconds stop and go for breaching this article. But it was always
brutal,
it was a slam dunk penalty. If the teams knew that he wasn't going to be able to meet that regulation, I don't know. It just don't know why it took 20 odd laps to get that penalty out there. A little bit slow on that part. I think he said in an interview where the steward's making a cup of tea or something whilst I was whilst they were debating whether I could have a penalty or not. In his polite but humorous way.
Yeah, I don't understand why it took so long. Leclerc also had a spin on the formation lap.
Yeah.
So it was the conditions overall were really what made this race. It was the mixed conditions really challenging every single driver on the grid to keep it together. And that resulted in a whole bunch of people finding the wall and the gravel and having issues before the race had even started. So that to me was an indicator early on when I was watching the race. I was there thinking, this is going to be pretty mad. I think I would be surprised to see how many cars finish this. I actually thought there was going to be a whole load of retirements. I thought it was going to be like it's going to be like the first race of the year last season where he had all these retirements.
Austria, yeah.
In Austria, yeah. So, but it wasn't. It was ultimately like 4 or 5 by the checkered flag. So because Vettel had pulled in at one point.
Oh, of course, yeah. He retired, didn't he? So
Tsunoda went out. Both Williams and Bottas. So yeah. So there wasn't as many retirements as I thought there were going to be, but there was a lot of people going off the track, that's for sure. I think it speaks to the quality of a track that has a lot of gravel as well, because it really punishes you, especially in these conditions. It really punishes you. And not only was the quality determined by those that could keep it on the track, but also by those that could recover it from the gravel. So
I'm sure we'll speak about that later on, and how not giving up was a fantastic choice. But speaking about the conditions, it was such a hard day for the rookies. Like, imagine joining Formula One. Let's take the Haas guys at the moment. You got Nikita Mazepin and Mick Schumacher. Only been in a Formula One car a handful of times. Only a few hours under your racing career. If you're Mick, I mean, I know Nikita had an off in Bahrain, so his experience is even less. But imagine turning up to Sunday and having all these mixed conditions on what looked like a slippery track, and we've got world champions spinning out. And fair play to I know both Mick and Nikita had their own incidents throughout the race, but they both finished. They both kept it the whole way to the end. So I think a round of applause for the Haas guys, because they could have both easily binned it, and it would have been put down to experience, and then both being rookies in really challenging conditions. But actually, they both brought it home. A couple of laps down, I'm sure, but they both brought it home.
Both Haas cars were lapped by lap 16.
Yep, they were lapped twice after then unlapping themselves after the red flag. Yep. So Well, I said at the start of the race, oh goodness, they're going to get lapped like 4 or 5 times, which would have been the case if there hadn't been a red flag. So they could have underfueled their car by quite a bit, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, just knock a few laps off.
Yeah, exactly.
Easy bit of extra time.
Who needs 63 laps of fuel? We're going to run with 58.
Save them some
Oh
money.
no, we're on the lead lap. What do we do?